My name is Gill Barham, the lifestyle leader, and I'm joined today by my lovely co-host, Marina Nani. Hi, Marina.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and your internet is on, stay on, because what is about to happen never happened before. You are going to open your mind into something you never thought is possible. Over to you, Gill.
Thank you, Marina. Okay, so we're already at number 4 of our lovely radio series on the miracle molecule. Maria and I have had a discussion about how you can access some of the information that we've been sharing already. And Marina's going to give you some access to some transcripts of the previous show. So even if you're not capable of listening online, you'll still be able to get the transcripts.
And better yet, Gill, and better yet, Gill, you know what? I'm going to put everything in a book.
Ooh.
And it's going to be called The Simple Truth About Your Heart. Great conversations with the amazing Gill. What about that? How is that for a book title?
That's marvelous. Thank you.
So then there will be no excuse left. We are giving you the book. We are giving you the audio file. We are giving you everything you want, because Gill is here and she's on a mission. Gill is here to save 1 million lives this year, and 1 million lives next year, and the year after. And for the rest of her life, Gill is here to save 1 million lives. And you could be one of those lives. And you could be one that knows somebody who needs help and who needs to understand the power of your heart. Over to you, Gill.
Thank you, Marina. That was put so eloquently, because it's perfectly true. I am on a mission, and I'm committed to making sure that everybody knows, at least is educated, so that you can make educated choices and decisions about how you look after your health, and particularly your heart. So in fact, today's subject is entitled How to Ensure That You Make Your 3.5 beats, which is the number of times that your heart beats in a lifetime. So when I trained as a nurse many years ago, I was really good understanding of the disease process. You know, I was expected to learn lots of terminology, technical terms, associatics, lots of surgery, medicine, drugs. But the one of those terms that I was familiar, particularly that put as agenda, was homeostasis. Now, for the past 7 years, since I've been looking at health from a wellness perspective, dealing with disease or dis-ease, which is what disease means, dis-ease, ill-at-ease, or illness, homeostasis has become the real focus of my work, not only around my own health, but also with that of my family, my friends, and obviously the many hundreds of clients that I've been working with. So I wanted to take a little look at what homeostasis is. And it sounds like a posh word, but basically there are 5 fundamentals that make homeostasis. What I'm talking about here is about nutritional rebalancing. So if you can get your body to health, the body will heal itself. The body only struggles and develops dis-ease or illness if it's nutritionally unbalanced. So what I wanted to do today was look at the 5 fundamentals of what the body actually needs. So the first one is oxygen. Now, we all know that we need oxygen to breathe. We all know that we take, you know, however many breaths in a day. Somebody cleverer than me will tell you how many breaths you take in a day. You probably breathe about 24 times every minute. And so getting clean, good air is a very good idea. And we've talked in one of the previous programs about getting out and about. I'm actually in the depths of Suffolk today, and I was very fortunate that I came across here in the sunshine, and the roof was down on my car, so I was getting loads and loads of fresh air. And it's so good for you, so good for the soul, so good for the body to be able to breathe fresh air and to be able to learn to breathe too. Now, some of you may know that I'm a Pilates teacher, and one of the big fundamentals of Pilates, particularly body control Pilates, the ABCs, if you like, one of the fundamentals, B, is for breathing. And being allowed and being enabling your body to breathe wide and full so that you use the whole capacity of your lungs. So we'll do a little bit more about breathing on another show. The second thing that the body needs is water. So your body is made up of something like 70% water. And one of the things that I'd like you to think about, for example, as a Pilates teacher, I see a lot of people with back pain, for example. Now, the intervertebral discs that are between every one of your spine, they are also made up of 70 to 80% water. So if you're not drinking enough water in a day, it means that your spine is collapsing slightly. And the very best thing that you could ever do for your body, just from caring for your spine, for example, is to drink at least 2 litres of water a day. Do you drink 2 litres of water a day, Marina?
Yes, sometimes more than that. And I'm fighting every single person I meet in in my life, in my daily life, to prove to them that if they go first, even for 5 minutes, their brain capacity slows down. Their power of assimilating information is lowering without them knowing. And I don't know why, but that's very convincing. It's scaring them off. They'll give me some water. so yes, I believe in water, and I love sitting by the water as well.
Yes, absolutely. And I think one of the things that I learned a very long time ago is that if you are thirsty, you're already dehydrated.
Yes.
I'm going to say that again. If you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So you should never get to a stage where you're actually, you're really thirsty, because your body is in quite a state at that point. It's so important for you to hydrate your body all the time, particularly for those that are looking for weight loss, for example, but for all sorts of other function as well. And particularly for function number 3, which is in homeostasis, which is to regulate heat in your body. So to make sure that the temperature in your body stays regulated. Now, number 4 is the removal of waste. I don't want to get too graphic here.
Too much information doesn't help this time.
But I can tell you that if you are dehydrated, it will affect the removal of waste in any direction. Because, of course, we sweat through our skin. So we need to make sure that if we are doing any exercise, or even if we're in a hot climate, particularly, obviously you need to make sure that you're even more hydrated. But it is particularly important for people that suffer with problems with elimination in any form, that you are drinking plenty. And I see lots and lots of people who come to me with problems with their elimination, slow motility. I'm not going to say any more. And one of the major things that we do is up their water intake, and this very often goes a long way to solving the problem. I'm going to leave that subject there, and we're going to go on to number 5. Now, number 5 is nutrients. So we all need nutrients, proper nutrients in our body. So let's have a look at what nutrients we need. Now, you will know that you need minerals and vitamins. You need those for growth and development. But what I learned quite a few years ago was that it's not the lack of vitamins that will kill us and make us really ill. It's actually minerals. Minerals, the lack of minerals in our diet are much more worrying and much more catastrophic on the body than a vitamin deficiency. And sadly, in the 21st century world, certainly in the Western world, the way that our food is produced, the way that the crop rotation now is much quicker than it was many years ago. Farmers are being told to dig up one crop and another crop is back in the land with no resting of the land at all. There are, herbicides and pesticides that are killing off the minerals in our soil, because they're killing off the enzymes that either produce the minerals, or the bugs in our soil that produce the minerals, or get the minerals into our food. So we have to come up with a way that we can provide extra minerals and vitamins into our diet, so that we're filling the gaps that unfortunately we're not getting from our food, or that our 21st century toxic living is making it more difficult. And I know that I talked for long and hard about that in episode number 2 about our 21st toxic world. So here are some of the other things that we need in terms of nutrients. Antioxidants, and I promise I will do a whole show on antioxidants. We also need proteins. They are the building blocks of tissue. They give us energy. So proteins that you will know about are things from meat and fish, for example. Things that, nutrients that we might be familiar with are carbohydrates. Now, interestingly, these are non-essential in humans. They are essential in animals, but actually carbohydrates are classed as non-essential in humans. But they do contain some dietary fibre, which are very important for that removal of waste. And we get them from things like fruit and grains and vegetables, obviously. Now, here's the next thing, which is essential fatty acids. They're called essential fatty acids because they are, guess what? Essential. And those are the very good oils that we get from foods such as avocados, nuts, seeds, really fatty fish, for example. We also get non-essential fatty acids too. So there are some fatty acids that are not quite as good for us. And again, we'll go through this in a little bit more detail in one of the later programs. But essential fatty acids are essential for our skin. Again, Marina, they're so important for brain function. You know, it's only my theory. Well, I've probably researched quite a bit of it, but I truly believe that in this day and age, one of the reasons that we're seeing much more prevalence of dementia, vascular dementia and Alzheimer's and those kinds of things is because, you know, in the 80s, we were all told to eat a low-fat diet. The government recommended that low-fat way of eating. It was actually just one person, one guy that came up with that study, and it was adopted by the government at the time. But it's been proven time and again nowadays that eating low fat is not good for you. It's not fat that makes us fat. It's sugar that makes us fat. Wow. So the other thing that fatty acids do is they help us with our joints. They give us energy. Every cell in the body needs essential fatty acids in order to give it energy. And it's also good for insulation. The other thing that fats are good for is hormone regulation. And that's for the men that are listening to us too. You need good hormone regulation, but for women particularly, as our hormone cycle changes out through our lifestyle. And again, I'll do another program on the life cycle of the female hormone system for you. It's really vital that women have enough essential fatty acids because they are so important for the production of hormones. And finally, we need enzymes and phytonutrients. So these are compounds that are found in plants, and enzymes particularly help us to break down the foods that we have, and particularly fatty foods. So we need to make sure that we have enough enzymes in our diet. And I just think this is really interesting. In the same way that women are born with a certain amount of eggs in our ovaries, we're also almost got a finite amount of digestive enzymes. And some of us run out of them more frequently than others. And this is why we see increasing numbers of people who are being given things like omeprazole, those proton pump inhibitors, for example, because they are suffering with reflux or indigestion. But actually, for the majority of those people, it's a lack of acid, a lack of enzymes that is producing those symptoms. It's not an overproduction of acid. And so that's another show in itself, actually talking about the dangers of proton pump inhibitors and how you can relieve the symptoms of your acid reflux and so on through the use of good digestive enzymes. But of course, the one thing that is so important in terms of overall health are amino acids, semi-essential and essential amino acids. And we've already talked about the 2 amino acids that are high on my agenda, which are L-arginine and L-citrulline, because those 2 amino acids are the ones that are precursors of the development of nitric oxide, the miracle molecule. Now, you're a genius on this now, Marina. You know all about this, don't you?
I don't want to tell you how excited I am about this. It's like everybody opens a topic. Let's say they talk about the weather, which I hate anyway, and I start telling them, so have you heard about the miracle molecule? And say, what? I said, have you heard about Jill? So I don't think anytime soon people will keep. I don't think that they will keep talking for the weather for long, because your topic is so much more exciting, even more exciting than the weather. So we might have 4 seasons here during the day, but there are better things to talk about and think about and consider and share. So over to you, Jill.
You're going to stop getting invited to dinner parties.
Perhaps, but you know what? I think you told us at some point that having food in the evening is not a good idea. So why I need dinner for? I have my mornings, I have my lunch time. So
oh dear, very funny. Okay, so having known now about all the nutrients that we need, I just need to say a little bit about the RDA. So you will know about the recommended daily amounts. And those recommended daily allowances or recommended daily amounts, they really don't address any depletion. So they're the kind of basic amounts. They were set after the war, the original ones. They've been reassessed in the 1990s and again fairly recently. But they're the kind of minimum amounts that you would need in order to keep a healthy body. My work is all around balancing and actually getting your body to optimum health. So I like to talk about optimum daily amounts rather than recommended daily allowances, because those recommended daily allowances don't address the nutrients that are depleted by any medications that you might take. They don't address any situations in which you are ill, suffering from any infection or degenerative diseases. And they also don't really help you with counteracting the effect of environmental poisons, you know, the toxicities that we talked about as well. So, you know, those RDAs need to be seen as a minimum. And I get people saying to me, oh, you know, you've told me to take 2 of those sachets of Pro-Arginine, you know, on the box it says only 1. Well, yeah, it's a very similar thing from an EU regulation. It's a recommended daily allowance, but to actually get a therapeutic dose very often, then you need to take more than that to fill the gaps and to produce the therapeutic effect of what you need. And as Jamie Oliver says, you know, what you need to be looking for, it's going back to the days when we had food that was unadulterated. Eating food with 1 ingredient, that's my rule. So rather than buying a processed salad or a processed lasagna or whatever that somebody else has made for you, buy those ingredients and then make that food yourself. Because Jamie Oliver says, quite rightly, real food doesn't have ingredients. Real food is.
wow.
I love that, don't you, Marina?
I never heard that before. Even I'm a big fan. Wow.
So,
well, so Jill, so tell me. So okay, you decide from where to where. You decide how much exercise you need during the day. You supply enough liquids to your body, and you have to have at least 2 liters of water. You have to allow oxygen to go to your brain, and you have to spend time outdoors. And what will be the key message for today? That people, because our listeners, they think, oh, we heard that before, and yes, I understand it's very important, but then they forget. Can you tell us something that they will never forget, they will remember, and each time they stay too much indoor or they don't have enough water during the day, they'll go and say, Jill said so?
Yes, okay. So creating good health is all about good habits. It's practice makes perfect, basically. You'll have heard me say this before. Practicing a healthy lifestyle may just make for a perfect life. So I want you to practice. I want you to practice taking a bottle of water with you, not a plastic water bottle, please. Get yourself a glass one, or a proper one that doesn't have any BPA's in. So practice taking water around with you. Practice taking the stairs in rather than taking the lift. Practice eating your meals so that they've got one ingredient in them. So if those are the 3 things that you can do between now and the next time I talk to you, then you'll be on your road to creating a lifestyle and a healthy life that we know it will take time, because it takes a bit of dedication. The next time we come back, I'm going to be talking to you about the common denominator of all illnesses. So the one thing that actually creates illness in the body that we can support, and that's the engine of the body. That's going to be talking more about the heart, and specifically about the elements that make up or if affecting cardiovascular disease, such as high blood pressure, cholesterol, arteriosclerosis, inflammation. And I'm going to do a session on those, and probably the next time we come back, we're going to be specifically looking at cholesterol, and I'm going to give you a few clues on the facts and myths around statins. So if you know of anybody on statins, that's going to be the subject for our next talk.
Wow, I can't wait for that, actually. So for today, we are so grateful, Gill. I took lots of notes. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to apply all of them in one go, but I promise I will do an extra good things each day, because at the end of the day, if you want to, it's a choice. If you want to live longer, happier, healthier, you can't. There is no elevator to a successful life. You have to take the stairs. From both of us, until next time, is goodbye.